Unfortunately, the audio and the video stopped working. So I'll try to narrate. Well, I will narrate as the video goes on. It won't be like the narration of the actual audio of the video though, because honestly, this was golden nugget. But anyway, I started off talking about boutique apps, and that in this case, I'm going to actually use ChatGPT to help me to come up with the description for the app instead of getting the PRD from boutique apps. And the reason was because right now, boutique apps is set up for 3 pathways. If you already know how to describe the app that you want, you already got in your mind exactly how it's going to work. 2, you just got a business and you trying to figure out how the app would work to help that business. Or 3, you got a domain name and you are looking for ideas on what to do with that domain name. So this particular thing that I'm working on now, I'm just out here with it. I don't have it's just an idea that came up at the last minute because of a situation that occurred, which was a guy trying to have a birthday party. He needed it in English and Spanish. I did the flyers and the invitation video, and I could see a problem on the horizon. Like you're this is going out to 2 different audiences, target market, Spanish and English. You're the contact for them RSVPing, and you got other stuff going on, and they're able to contact at different times, you know, in an unorganized fashion. And more than likely, you're not going to get all of those calls because you're going to be doing other stuff. So it just seemed like an organizational nightmare. So I said, suppose there was an app that you could use to create the flyer in English and Spanish. You send it out instead of figuring out who to send what. You just send this one thing. It creates the invitation. You send that out. You share the link that it creates to everyone. And that person can choose whether they want to use it in English or Spanish. And the video won't be over by the time I explain it, which is fine. They can choose, their language, and the invitation is going to serve. Now, originally, what happened was, I had this grandiose idea of how it would work, but once I got into it, it didn't exactly go like that. So this is the hindsight. This is the benefit of the hindsight narration instead of the audio that goes with the video. But in the video, I'm actually going down the pathway where I'm trying to make the app do all of this stuff. And it probably would have done it. This is not going very well at all, for the simple fact that I made the video go too fast and I can't keep up with what's going on in the video. But we haven't started yet. I don't know, this might track well. But anyway, so let me backtrack. Let me get to I'll come to that later. So ChatGPT did fine in helping me come up with all of the things that I described and putting it in a more organized manner of all of the, and describing all of the pieces of the tech that I needed in order to make this happen. Now, this is why I made the app Boutique Apps, is because once it get to that point, and if you was to say, give me the instructions that I need to give to Replit in order to create the app, it's going to go bonkers. And it's going to try to micromanage how Replit operates. And I already knew this because I had asked the agent in Replit itself, which do you prefer? So I already ran that split test, and I gave it an example. I actually created an app. Actually, I think I did it for Boutique Apps, to create Boutique Apps, or one before it, I don't know. But I did that again here, where since I already was using ChatGPT and I got all of these ideas together, so it knew everything that I wanted to do, I said, okay, this is perfect time to do a split test again to make sure that the first time it wasn't just a fluke, and that my opinion or my interpretation of what Replit was saying is accurate. Uh, Give me a minute. So here's the deal. The no-code agents don't want you to try to micromanage everything that they do. They want you to talk about what the app does, how it does it, the process, what problem it solves. It wants a bird's eye view of what it is you're trying to create. It doesn't want you to say the user account should be named this and you should have these fields available and it maps this way. They don't want all that. But I said, all right, we're gonna run this split test again. So what I did is I just said, all right, so this is what I told ChatGPT. I said, so everything that we've gone over to get to the point where I now have an organized um, set of instructions and the tech stack that's needed to create this app. Now I want you to summarize based on all of that conversation to get here. And I want you to tell me exactly what the app does, exactly how it does it, the problem that it solves, and the flow to get from point A to point B. And so that's what it did. And so then I took all of that information and then I put it in Replit Agent. Well, I said, all right, so this is what we're doing. We're going on a journey right now. And I'm going to give you two versions of instruction to start creating this app. The first version is going to be a bird's eye view. I'm going to explain what the app does, what I want. I'm going to explain the benefit to the person who uses it. So what the app does and how it goes about doing it, what problem it solves, and the process that I envision to solve the problem. And I said, and then once you're finished and you tell me you're ready, I'm going to put in a different set of instructions, which is a PRD that is very specific, telling you what accounts to take, what accounts to create, what tech stack to use, you know, examples of coding on how to accomplish certain things. So that's the journey we're going to take. And I want you to tell me in the end which way you prefer to receive the information, the PRD. How do you want the PRD set up in order to use to create the app? And so that's what I did. And just as I had expected, because this is why I built Boutique Apps the way that I did, Boutique Apps creates your PRD in this way, because I had already ran this test. But this was just a way to do it again to make sure that I had the best practice as part of how Boutique Apps creates your PRD. So I ran the test. That's what you were seeing in the beginning. And yes, Replit Agent said, yes, I prefer version 1 because I don't need, I'm doing squats. I said, I don't need you. It said, I'm paraphrasing. It said, I don't need you to try to tell me how to do my job. I just need to know what it is you envision, what you're trying to create, you know, because first of all, some of the stuff is good, but some of the stuff that you're saying in this PRD that's very technical and specific is unrealistic for an MVP, and it uses a lot of outside and third-party resources and APIs that, in so many words, it didn't really want to say this, but it said what I interpret it as it goes beyond the scope of what should be expected for me to be able to do, or possibly for you to be able to help me do since you're using a no-code app. You know what I'm saying? This is unspoken stuff that I interpreted from. But basically it said, number one, I prefer version number 1 without the specificity about telling me how to do it. So that was the whole first part of the video. And then right now you see me, I'm actually buying a domain name. And I use ChatGPT to come up with a name. We created a name, Invitero, because you know what I'm saying? It throws that little Spanish flair on there. It's a new word we created. It's available. It was, hey, perfect. So now the app, it looked good. You've probably seen it. It was halfway functional. It had to be scaled down still more than what I had envisioned. For example, automatically converting the language from English to text. Well, actually, that did work. But on the flyer generation part really is the biggest part that had to be eliminated. That takes a lot more outside resources. It would take longer to do. It was complexity for it to work on mobile as well as it would on the desktop. You had to choose between different stacks that they didn't work together equally as well. So if you either had to choose mobile or desktop, or it would cost so much to operate it that the person probably wouldn't find it economically feasible in order to use the app to get it done. Does that make sense? Just rather pay somebody, or there are other invitation type apps that are available but the differentiator is the fact that it does the language conversion and it still has that. So that's the main component of it, you know, and allowing you to, well, I don't know what the other ones do, but this one allows you to bring your own creative and stick it in the app and then use the rest of the app. So right now you're seeing some of the early error corrections and debugging because there's some problems with how it's operating, and the video is going to abruptly end because although it's only taking us 12 minutes, the video was actually 2 hours and 20 something minutes or something like that. I actually lost this video and had to get Loom to go in on the backside and retrieve the video, and that's it, it's over. But there are other videos that actually does have the audio. One I just finished today, where I am continuing to debug it and trying to figure out how to make it work 100%. I'm like 70% there, but 90% close to being able to let somebody use it. Absent flyer creation part, that's going to be a lot more problematic than I had anticipated. But as far as using it, bring your own creative and uploading it and using it to organize the invitation of the event, it's ready. It's almost ready. Because now the problem was when the receiver gets it and they get to choose whether they want it in English or Spanish, it was working, except for the flyer creation part. I needed it to be able to be cut on and cut off. And in fixing that part, it broke the part where you can choose the language. And that's where I'm stuck at and trying to figure out how to get that working again. Once that's working again, it's ready to be used as an effective tool to organize the feedback, where you can see who said it was coming, how many people are coming with them. Yeah, that's it for the birthday side. Now it's set up to do birthdays by default. And if you are doing something else other than a birthday, then you can choose other. And then other, there are several options where the options will allow other functionality. So like, for example, if there's a potluck, then it's going to bring up a tool where you can choose what you're bringing, But on the birthday side, none of that is showing. And I hadn't tested all that other stuff yet because I'm trying to get it just working so that somebody can use it for organizing this actual birthday event. Now, in the future, this is beta release. In the future version, what I'm going to do is, like, say, obviously, if you're invited to an event, that person sees you as important enough to invite. This is a private event. So probably maybe you see that person as important too. And so maybe you feel bad about not being able to make it to the event if you can't make it to the event. So I think I'm going to make it so, and maybe I'll just have it no matter what you choose. But especially if you say, no, I'm not going to make it, then a pop-up will come like, sorry, you can't make it. But if you still want to participate, you can donate. So I think that's perfect. You know what I'm saying? You can't show up there, then you can still donate and contribute to the event. So your presence can still be felt. You still can be a part. And that's going, that's always useful. It's always good. So that's the future of how it's going to be as far as the creative side. The flyer development. We'll see. We'll see. And that ends this video.
It's clicked. Take the user up to the button. Right now, they click the button and nothing seems to happen in their eyes unless they decide to scroll up. Could I have made that clearer? I feel like I could have made that clearer. Perfect observation. You're absolutely right. When the user clicks the create event button and the upgrade prompt appears at the top, they don't see it because they're scrolled down. Let me fix this by either moving the prompt, and it's probably better to tell it to do one or the other, or ask it, which is better user experience. Or just go by what you would prefer. Move the button down to the create event thing. Okay, great. And let's see if it still goes to the price card, which it did before. And now when it comes over here, it comes down at the bottom instead of going to the top. All right. Invertero. Great. Now, when you click to upgrade, you're taken to the bottom of the price options. Should be taken to the top to select which tier you want to upgrade to. What does this do? Oh, okay, it's defaulted to the $6.99? No, get started takes you back here again. And get started button. Oh, maybe it's not selected. Should be able. I'll just make sure it checks to activate whichever tier is selected. I think it may. Well, I'll just leave it there. I want to get past this. I want to get to the create a flyer part. That's what we're supposed to be working on when I encountered that issue. Look like it's going to rain today. I think it was supposed to rain today. We're in Dominican Republic right now. This is something lawsuit. Oh boy, here we go again. Something that you can do to help you be able to move as you would like across the country. Creating apps and pretty much a lot of stuff you can do online. Next, we're going to squeeze in actually trying to market some of these. That's what we'll be doing next week, guys. Next week, tune in. We're going to be creating ads. In addition to, we're going to continue to do our thing at the regular time, 7 o'clock. but we're also going to have some footage with ad results. See how that goes. Because, of course, you don't want to just keep creating stuff forever. Like somebody I know, you have to sell something. And then the reason that I encourage all of you guys to make YouTube channels is to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. What's happening is I'm creating a basically portfolio of experience and learnings in addition to teaching. So there's no way to get around the fact that I am going through, I'm playing with it, my own training experience of improving on learning how to no code, the nuances, things to look for, the best practices, and specifically operating using Replit, but in more general, how these no code tools work. You see how I was able, I mean, that's how come I made that boutique apps. I told you what it was going to say you prefer. That's because I already asked all of those questions when I made that app. And the app, boutique apps, is set up to provide you a PRD in the way that Replit says it wants to the PRD, just the way you saw it said today. I don't. That might have been a video. Oh, I got two videos that's messed up, but I'm pretty sure the Loom team will be able to get me one of the videos. I think that's the one where I started on this journey today. So you'll see me go through that process of I feed Replit two versions of the. Well, actually, one is not even a PRD. It is just what the app does and how it operates and what problem it solves. And the other one is the PRD from that from ChatGPT. The difference in the PRD that Boutique app gives you is because it's been programmed to not to give you the who and the what and the how, uh, top bird's eye view, and not try to get too specific and technical because that's what Replit doesn't want. And I think Bolt is the one I asked as well, and it said that it didn't want that either. So I'm assuming, I don't know for sure. Now I've used Lovable, but I haven't asked it the same question. But I'm assuming all of them work pretty much the same way. Because you got to think about it. The way that it's programmed and designed to fulfill the task and is not set up for the person. It's a no code, so it's not set up for the person to have all of these things, these little technical details they give it. It's set up so to interpret what is needed and to apply. And so each one may have its own nuances on how we achieve this, how we achieve that. The way it's coded, it might be more efficient to do certain things a certain way based on how it's coded and put together. You understand what I'm saying? So I can easily, that's why I even questioned it from the beginning when ChatGPT gave me that. I was like, how do we know that the way that you're telling it to do this doesn't conflict with the internal makeup of how it would normally do this if it wasn't instructed specifically, which could cause a conflict in how it carries the task out. Because it could, if you leave out a gap, then it's going to try to fill in that gap with how it would have whatever place fits with how it would have went about doing this from the beginning. And now you got mixed match codes, and this just might not make sense. But anyway, I get it. Um, let's see. Once I get on a tangent, we gotta go through all of this just to test that thing again. But that's part of the process. One, two, three. Princess. Whoop. Oh yeah, it's in there. Okay, there's the upgrade button. Let's see. Okay, so far so good. Let's go. Now let's highlight it. Uh, Unlock. Unable to set up payment. Please try again. That is supposed to be set up. Should we leave that as red? I'll leave that as red. I don't even want to waste time fixing that one. When I clicked on unlock birthday tier, this is what I got. Error message. Setup error. What? Oh, broke something. Weekend buddy, ba 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 ba. Can y'all hear the music? I think probably when I'm talking you can't hear it, but when I'm quiet, I'm sure you hear every word. Might not understand what I'm saying. I don't, but you probably hear it. I need to run. The app is failing because it's looking for a required Stripe secret key. What are you talking about? I gave you the secret key. Oh, maybe deeper. We need to get to this flyer creation. So basically, the last two big parts is the flyer creation. Actually, it's another one. The sharing part got to work too, or it defeats the purpose. The flyer creation, uh, sharing component, payment, and the admin. Well, basically that means there's a lot, and this doesn't seem to be working. Oh, there we go. Error. I need to check and see if the other ones have the same problem though. So is it at the tier level or deeper than the tier level? Start free, no problem. Upgrade plans. Start pro. Error. All right. What about start planner? Error. I'm going to say, please fix. We're on a schedule. So unless you guys, I can see there's a payment setup error. Unless you guys chime in, the next step will be I'm gonna spend a day working on the model site, and then I want to start on a trainer app because I need to build a trainer app for somebody anyway. So might as well get it built. Matter and there's somebody I want to build a trainer app for. Matter of fact, but there's another app that I need to build too, and that is an Instagram scraper that will get scrape your content that you've posted on Instagram and create your own proprietary content out of that, if that makes sense. Or just put it on a website, blog, create an ebook, something. I want to be able to do something with it. But basically, use it. Oh, and more specifically, also be able to use some digital real estate with it. Because stuff you post on Instagram technically is Instagrams, but suppose you create a training portal out of all of the stuff you've been posting there over whatever amount of time. Use all the credits already. Okay. It's up. Uses there 15. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll be sure to let them know. Fixed payment endpoint mismatch between front end and back end. Updated. All right. Let's see. All right. This is interesting. Checkout plan pro. Look like it's confused. Man, an endless loop. Checkout, I should have said. on checkout. I should have said. I found the issue. The problem is likely in the use effect dependency array. So toast and set location functions are being included as dependencies, which can cause the effect to run unnecessarily. Let me fix this. Go ahead. Mm, 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 mm. Man, fix it, please. Still spinning on checkout, plan, roll, checkout button, click. That's a strange description. That's what it is, though. Still a loop happening. Well, that would explain it. Still spinning because there's still a loop happening. Who would have thought? Adios, míos. Mostly cloudy, 88. No rain today. I thought it was going to rain. Rain tomorrow, though. Look at that. Look at it. See, it's hot. Come on. It's supposed to rain next Saturday, too. I need to go and get some coconut water. I still see the looping. Come on, man. Fix the loop. I got it. Could y'all hear that? Still looping, though. Let's look over here. Wait a minute. Oh, that's because of that message. The email too. I wonder, is it because of this? Let's see. And I'm messing with, let me see, stop it. Set usage alert. Oh, I didn't set, yeah, that might be it. I was thinking it was already set at 15. I needed to set it at 15. Let me see if it started working now. Transfer errors.